Okay. I'm gonna apologize in advance if you can hear my dog snoring. I am sorry. But, as always, I have the questions on me MacBook. And I lost my page. But I am not prepared. Because, if I'm being honest, I forgot this was due today. I thought it was due Monday. And then I went and I checked. Okay, but explain the 5 areas of the marketing environment. If I can find the page. Ta-da. Okay. Put that right there. So it's, I can't name them off the top of my head, but it's the competitive, political, legal, economic, technological, and social cultural. And according to this little diagram right here, it's like the outer part. And in class, you said something about it being the things that marketers can't control, unlike the target market and the 4 Ps. It's like the things they can't control, which is probably hard to market products and like try and sell things in an environment that is constantly changing, especially like competition. So the competitive environment, there are always, and I think in my last content mastery I used dating apps as an example, but there are always dating apps popping up in and out. And there's dating apps for people, like there's one where your account deletes once you find a match, or like there's places like that are for strictly gay people, or there's ones that are strictly for like people of color. Like it's always constantly changing. So trying to keep up with something as competitive as your competition, hence the word competition, it can be very hard. And then you have to develop like a competitive strategy and like all those aspects, which probably does take a long time, because like you have what are they called, like the concepts, like the hierarchy. I don't remember what it's called. I don't know what it's called. I could look, but that was from chapter 2. But you have that, and then you have target market, and then I feel like adding things on that you can't control can be pretty difficult. And then there's the political, legal, which is like words are escaping me right now. What is the word? Like workers' rights. I don't think that's the right word that I'm looking for, but it's like workers' rights, like injuries on the job. So it's probably like workman's comp probably goes into that a bit. And then like I know at my job, there's like rules that we have to follow. So like we had state, like so like Scooters is a franchise, so our main owner came through, and we had to go and we have to dress in our uniform, and we have to wear closed-toed shoes. I normally don't, but don't tell the owner that. But like it's for safety reasons, because like we do work with knives and blenders, and it's slippery because we have ice that falls on the floor. So keeping the conditions of the workplace safe is kind of why the political. So I feel like every good business should have a good lawyer, just in case something were to happen, that in cases of like a restaurant, somebody gets salmonella from undercooked chicken and they sue, then I feel like every good business should have a good lawyer. And like, especially in the restaurant industry or the fast food industry, which is technically what I work in, is the fast food industry. Keeping workers safe and keeping consumers safe is definitely very important in situations where it's a quick, fast-paced environment. There's a lot of slides on political legal. I'm just going in order of... Oh, there goes my AirPods. Okay, I threw myself off for a second, sorry. And then, which is the biggest one, is probably the economy, because we've seen with gas prices especially, they fluctuate so much, and like the housing market has skyrocketed in the last couple of years, and that's with the inflation and deflation. It's gone up so much, and I feel like that is why it's so hard for kids my age who are about to take their next steps into the world, why they are struggling so much, because gas is expensive, food is expensive, the housing market is expensive. Like, I'm looking at apartments in Denver for my cosmetology program, and it's not cheap, and especially in cities like Denver, it's not going to be. And that's probably one of the hardest things to think of when you're marketing a product, is the cost to make things may be low, but the market in which you sell them could be high. So like, you used an example of like Beats headphones. You said they cost, I don't remember how much, but a very low price to make, but yet they sell them of upwards of $500, $600. And especially like Apple, like my AirPods cost me $170 to buy, but it probably costs about $5 to make them. So it's kind of all about, because like, you want to be cheaper than your competitors, so you want to be cheaper but better than your competitors. So I guess it's kind of full circle to where the economy can affect your competitive environment in cases of which you want to be cheaper and better, but you might not be able to, you could make it to where it's similar to competitors, but that economic standpoint could be so high that people don't want to buy your product. So I feel like that's where it can kind of lie with where competitive and environment can kind of go hand in hand. What else is in here? And then like unemployment rates, and like, which I think, I don't pay much attention to the economy, which as someone who's taking business classes, I probably should. But I think inflation is down compared to what it used to be. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. But what? And then technological environment is the fourth one, and it's improves, like, obviously technology. From what I understand, it's almost the means in which you can make a product, because like in modern times it's factories and conveyor belts and the line where one person does something and then they pass it to the next person. What is that called? You know when a house is burning down in the old times and they would pass water buckets? That, but in a factory. I don't know what it's called. But obviously high technology can lead to many different things. Like companies like Apple, for example, started out with probably the worst quality camera. I had an iPhone SE when the iPhone SE was a brick, and it was probably the worst quality camera that I have seen, and it was my first phone. Like, compared to my phone now, they have definitely made technological advancements, and it's always wanting to improve yourself based on your technology. So if you are a technological brand like Apple, like Samsung, like Google, wanting to continue to better, and I think that's why Apple continues to come out with so many more phones and iPads and MacBooks, for example. They constantly want to upstage themselves and be like, okay, we did this, but look what else we can do. So it's a lot of improvements made upon, especially technology, because people's standards have gotten very high. Oh my god, this is already 11 minutes. I need to stop yapping. Social and cultural, relationship between marketing, society, and culture. So, like, the people. So for example, like, I just distracted myself. Like dog owners, there's a lot of dog brands out there, and, you wanting to connect on a deeper level than just, hey, we sell dog collars, but we sell dog collars that, reflect light, so when you're walking your dog at night, it's safer for you, it's safer for your dog. It's really about making the customer feel seen and heard instead of just somebody who's putting money into your pocket. Because I know, for example, for scooters, this is probably social responsibility, but, and this is probably the same example I'll use for social responsibility, but we give away free drinks some days, or I know right now we're doing a mystery drink, and it's where if you guess what's right in the mystery drink, then you get like a $150 gift card or something like that. And it's kind of like not making fun of, but making fun for consumers, because like a lot of our customers we see every day, and yet there's nothing that they can do that gets them involved in a company that they're spending so much money at. So it's really about, once again, making the consumers feel seen and wanting them to know that the people behind all of these products are human too. And yeah. Okay. That was only question 1, and this is 13 minutes long. We're gonna be here a while. Next, elaborate on the concept of ethics and marketing. Social responsibility. Marketing ethics. Standards of conduct and value. Standards of conduct. What? I think for number 2, elaborating on the concept of ethics in marketing, and it's honestly the best way that I understand it is what the definition says. The marketer's standards of conduct and value. So with a business like before, you have to have rules and regulations and to keep people safe and to keep people wanting to continue to work. Because if you have a CEO who is a sexist pig, nobody's going to want to work for you. So it's kind of making sure you're hiring the right people, making sure those people are following safety regulations and workplace environment rules and all that fun stuff, and how it coincides with the concept of social responsibility. I love my notes. Social responsibility. I think relationship and importance of each other to one another. I feel like you can't really give back. I don't like how that looks, sorry. Can't really give back to the people if the people working for you is not happy. Like a while back, a bunch of Starbucks employees went on strike because their working conditions and the conduct that was occurring between higher ups and the workers wasn't very appropriate and wasn't very safe. So a lot of workers just walked out and completely boycotted their jobs, especially during times of COVID and when the entire world was shut down. And then in recent times, Starbucks was supporting, I don't remember which side, Russia in the Ukrainian war? I think. Maybe. But a bunch of people were boycotting Starbucks because they were supporting not the right side, if there is a right side to that whole situation. And they were supporting and not sending things to Ukraine, and they were, I don't know, I didn't pay much attention to it, but it's hard for places to give back and do things for their communities if there's no one to do those things. So keeping workers happy and not tricking consumers into buying things that aren't actually what they say they are, and staying away from, what is it called? The bait and switch? Is that what it's called? That type of advertisement. It's trying to stay pretty honest and clear and straightforward to, that is my brother. Honest and straightforward. And because if your workers are happy and you're honest with them and you're honest with your consumers, then more people are going to be more receptive to the things you give back. And then 3 ethical issues or areas of concern. Ethical issues? I can't really read this. Price discrimination? I feel like everything listed here is honestly a good place to start. Obviously, you wouldn't have put it in there if it wasn't a good place to start. But, I can't read this. Like, product quality. If your product sucks, no one's going to want to buy it. And if you're lying about that kind of product, if you're saying your shirts are 100% cotton, but they're actually 2% cotton and 98% polyester, and I don't know, does polyester shrink? I have no idea. I don't know that much about fabric. I'm just trying to make an example. But if one shrinks more than the other and you lie and your customer puts it in the dryer, then they're going to be like, well, I'm never buying from this company again because they're liars. And then, like, competition, you could get dissed on by your competition. I know for a while there was memes. I don't know if they were real. They seemed pretty real. but of, like, I think it was, like, Wendy's and McDonald's had signs, and they were, like, dissing each other. Yes. Yes, she is. But they were dissing each other on their signs, and people were getting a laugh out of it, but if you say the wrong thing or piss off your competition, then they're going to come back at you 10 times harder. So I feel like those are some pretty big ones. I feel like I've yapped for 20 minutes. I apologize. I think I've said all I need to say.